do we ensure that that's, safe? How do we make sure that that's correct and done the right way?
Yeah, a lot of it is tied to having a structured approach to validation. There's guidance documents, available, but they really tell you the what needs to be done, and it doesn't give you a real good pathway on just how to do it. How do you accomplish this? So that was
Mhm.
something that I actually thought about when I was first separated from my employer, because I can't go around training people on how they do validation. That's not what I would do.
Yeah.
So I actually developed my own structure that I call CAGES, so claims, approach, gathering evidence, and
Hmm.
summary. And so the
Okay.
idea is you need to be clear on your claims first. Don't ask me to validate something when you don't know what good and bad is. And that is
Right.
a challenge that you'll see come across where they're like, okay, the equipment is here, validate it. It's like, okay, what does good and bad look like coming off of this? So claims is definitely a thing you need to do first. And then approach is about how are you going to prove the good and bad that you're now claiming. So statistics, tend to play into this arena. If you have a numerical result, you've got capability and performance indices. And I actually have a video about that because it's complicated. Um,
Hmm.
with pass fail, you've got, okay, I'm about to get nerdy. The Six Sigma person's getting nerdy. So there's binomial distribution. There's, all these different statistical methodologies with pass fail criteria. But all of that needs to be fleshed out first, because what the
Hmm.
FDA wants is that you have made a justification that, okay, this characteristic is a high risk. So we're going to prove it to this level of scrutiny. But this other
Hmm.
characteristic, it's really minor. It doesn't have that big of an impact. And so we're only going to test it to this criteria. That needs to be proven, defined first before
Mm.
you go into it. Because then gathering evidence is now the phase where, okay, here's the instructions and the data sheets on collecting the data. We're going to collect it and we're going to analyze it. And then once you do all of that work, you got to put in a nice summary package, because that auditor is going to come in and they don't want to mind read. They want to see
Yeah.
it, put it in front of them, let them flip through it, let them ask you questions. And so having a
Yep.
structure they can understand is important as well, because the worst thing is if you go through all this work and they're like, okay, this is all looks foreign to me, finding